LEXMOTO VENOM Best Motorcycle Review. It's a lively Chinese 125 with some decent touches, like an MP3 player and speakers. The LEXMOTO VENOM 125 was first launched back in 2015 and has been one of the best sellers in the UK-based but Chinese-built brand's lineup of bargain-priced, mostly 125 cubic centimeters machines, ever since, and it's not hard to see why. Although an easygoing, fairly basic, air-cooled roadster, the VENOM stands out for its modern, attractive styling including a bright red frame, complete with trellis-like section, flashy graphics, smart alloy wheels and red brake calipers. It even has a built-in MP3 player and speakers with which you can listen to music as you ride along. Like countless other Chinese-built bikes, the VENOM's a simple, basic machine with an underwhelming air-cooled, SOHC motor based on a time-expired Honda design, in this case the old CB125J produced up to 1985, but now with added fuel injection. The chassis is equally uninspiring, comprising a tubular steel frame with a monoshock rear end. While build quality is a little basic, reliability is sometimes questionable and residual values when you come to sell on are suspect, too. Ride quality and brakes. Ultimately the VENOM is a bargain-priced offering, so you shouldn't expect great things when it comes to ride and performance, however it is better than you might expect. Its chassis has a similar sort of basic spec as its engine, conventional, non-adjustable telescopic forks up front and a rear monoshock with preload adjustment only. Not that this matters a great deal. The suspension is good enough for its performance and the VENOM is slim, light, feels like a supermoto, perching you high and forwards, though the actual seat height is a reasonably low 770mm, and easy to tip into corners. Its Chinese CST Magsport tires, 110/80 front and 130/70 rear, grip well enough, certainly in the dry. Nothing touches down prematurely and it has flip-up foot pegs, red, if you opt for the black main color, although these aren't spring-loaded as you'd normally expect, so if you flip them up without realizing you'll have flailing feet looking for non-existent support. Engine. As with many Chinese bikes, the LEXMOTO VENOM uses a copy of an outdated Japanese engine, usually air-cooled SOHC designs. These are made in China but based on far older Japanese designs. In the VENOM's case it's the old single-cylinder lump from the Honda CB125J which ended Japanese production in 1985. That said, it is updated slightly with modern fuel injection and also has a balance shaft. It's shared with the LEXMOTO Michigan. The exhaust is a basic 1-to-1 made from plain, not stainless, steel. And the VENOM's gearbox is a fairly standard 5-speeder with chain final drive. All in all, a very straightforward spec that's reflected by the cheap price. Reliability and build quality. Although the VENOM is ultimately a budget-priced, Chinese-built bike with all the usual concerns over build quality and reliability that come with that, it's worth reminding that it's also one of LEXMOTO's most proven and popular models, and we've received feedback from plenty of satisfied owners. It's from China, big deal. I've never had an issue mechanical or otherwise, says one. Maybe it's how they are treated by their owners. While another said, I couldn't give a toss about brand junkies knocking Chinese bikes. I'm a mechanical engineer and know good value when I see it. Value versus rivals. There's no getting away from the fact that the LEXMOTO VENOM 125 is not only one of the cheapest 125s you can buy, it's also very cheap to run. That's the main reason for its huge and continued popularity after all. At around £1,800 new, the VENOM upholds the LEXMOTO tradition by undercutting almost every rival. Azante's Firefly 125 is £100 cheaper, but everything else costs more. The Cine's RSX comes in at £2,199, but if you want a Japanese brand name you'll pay a lot more. A Honda CB125F has a tag of in excess of £2,700, while a Suzuki GSX-S 125 is almost exactly twice as much as the VENOM, albeit with more power and sophistication. It's worth remembering though, that LEXMOTO won't hold its price as well as the Honda or Suzuki if you want to sell it a few years on. Equipment. Yes, the LEXMOTO VENOM 125 is a budget-orientated, Chinese-built bike with the emphasis on having a low price. But although its mechanical aspects are a little basic and old-fashioned, it does make up for that with a few surprising frills. Instrumentation's not bad for a start. A big analog speedo sits next to a color-changing, digital display with a tiny rev counter, fuel gauge, clock, trip meter and gear indicator.